easing into the conversation is what I like to
It's
do.
supposed to be relatable, you know? Like,
Yeah, it is
yeah.
supposed to be relatable, right? It's not like, some fancy schmancy, like big music and montage, talking about dad shoes, dad shoes. It's just like, why are you making that face?
It's just okay, so a couple things. One is like it was just a little cringy when you said Dadshoos, but it's fine. Number two
Yeah.
is it's become a thing in YouTube culture for it to kind of be like, oh look, we're so relatable, not knowing how to start the thing. So in itself, it's fancy schmancy. Does that make sense?
Wow. Okay. So it's both meta, cringy, and cliche
Yeah,
all at the same time.
but it's fine. I'm not. I just want to let you know because I know some people out there might be like, oh, they're doing it
Oh,
like
there they
this.
go again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well,
So
I just don't think we can make them happy, whoever they are. Like if we found some new original way, someone's gonna be like, it was cool, but I wish. So, just do what you
yeah.
do, you know? Anyway, so hey, welcome to Dad Shoes, the podcast where we talk about movies and a whole bunch of other stuff. I am Jeff.
And I
Who
am Banneker. I am the AI robot overlord, which is what we will be talking about today.
among
I
other
don't know why
things.
I did this.
Wow, you did live
I
long and
just
prosper.
I I don't know why I did
Finally.
that. I don't know why I
Finally,
did
you're coming over to
that.
Star Trek. I knew it was just a matter of time.
I really don't know why I did that.
I know why. You have secretly been watching some Star Trek episodes, huh?
I really haven't.
All right, we'll get you there. We've got you to do the Vulcan greeting, so it's just really a matter of time.
Yeah, well, the
Yeah.
Vulcan greeting is in like a bunch of things, so
Mm,
I
yes,
don't know.
yes. So anyway, this is Dad Shoes. It's a podcast with my son, who is Banneker. He is not the AI
Yeah, we just
overlord just yet,
uh
but
just yet.
I know, yeah, just yet.
We'll see when I upload my brain into the AI conscious. But
Right.
right
But
now
for
the
right,
AI is just making crazy realistic images.
yes, dear Lord, yes, yes, which we will definitely be talking about. But first, we got to do the house, cleaning stuff,
Oh
house
yeah.
cleaning, house warming, the things that we do in order to make sure that this show goes off without a hitch, and all that other good stuff like liking and subscribing. Make sure to do that.
And getting our merchandise that my dad is
Yes.
wearing right now. Yep.
Yes, get the Dad Shoes merch, various things. Link will be in the bio and all that stuff. So
Yep, the
yeah,
description. Okay,
t-shirts, hoodies in the description. Yeah, I know you're very excited, man. You're
I
chomping at
want
the
to
bit.
talk
Like
about
let's
our
let's
stuff.
get this over
I,
with. Dude, like
like
come on, man. You're just like,
okay,
yo, man.
they already know to do that. Okay, let's go.
Okay,
Let's go. Come on,
okay,
come on.
okay. All right, all right, all right. I know you're very excited. We've seen Dune. We've seen the
Yep.
movie Dune, and my son is really excited to talk about it, as am I. So hopefully, Sora AI will not attempt to do part three. But right now it could only do like a minute's worth of video at a time. But have you heard about it? Okay, so anyway, so Sora AI, the artificial intelligence that is actually providing text to video in HD quality that is photorealistic. Have you heard about it?
Yes.
It is
I've seen
nuts.
the videos of like the toucan and like the city. That's
Hmm.
crazy. I even like, on like Windows when you're opening it, typing in the passcode, there's like a background image that they make up every single day, and it's usually, a random cool place in the world.
Hmm.
Yesterday and today, it's been a picture of AI made by Dolly. I'm not joking.
No, I
And
believe
it's
you.
like of a savanna. It's very crazy.
Yeah, yeah, it's nuts. But online, Ars Techna wrote on Thursday, and this was written February 16th. It's on Thursday, OpenAI announced Sora, a text-to-video AI model that can generate 60-second long photorealistic HD video from written descriptions. Now, while it's only a research preview, that we have not tested. It's only going to various people. It reportedly creates synthetic video, but it doesn't do audio yet, at a fidelity and consistency greater than any text to video model available at the moment. And it's also freaking people out. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if you saw their first concept video where they wrote Will Smith eating spaghetti. Have you seen that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've seen that, yeah. And that was
Yes,
like
I've
a
seen that.
year. Yeah, it's crazy. But that was like a year or so ago from where they are now. So they went from like this crazy image. I'll see if I can't find the video to
Yeah.
put in the show. They went from that to these awesome photorealistic, images of video. The downside to it though, not necessarily a downside, but it's like, but the way you can tell that all of that is artificial is like if you look at what the people are doing with their hands, like look into their eyes and see that there's no real like connection. Like there's this one video I saw, I don't know if we can find it. I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but there's this one video of a an older woman celebrating her birthday and she's supposed to be blowing out the candles, but you can't really tell where her eyes are really looking. And then the people behind her, some are like waving, some are clapping their hands, but they're just doing some weird things with their hands. And those are some of the things that you can tell, okay, something's not right, but hey, it's really only a matter of time until they work on that, and it's crazy. It's crazy. But the question is do you think that all of this technology will get rid of actual movies with real people, writing and directing and having actors perform?
Uh, so you know what? I kind of just thought of this right now, which is like, okay, I know we're not talking about Dune yet, but I need to like compare this to Dune,
Okay.
where Paul is not wanting to be the Messiah, but everyone wants him to be or half of the Fremen want him to be the Messiah. His mom is like spreading, lies because her weird fetus, which in like 2001 Space Odyssey, the end with that space fetus that creeped me out. In this movie, it creeped me out so much
Even
more.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like the
because
baby's talking to her mom, like
uh
legit, like, yo, yeah, what were we eating today?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
so creepy. But
Okay, so you're comparing it. How?
so but as we saw at the end of the movie, he kind of became the Messiah. So I feel like if we put so much like fear and energy into like being like, we don't want AI to, take over movies or do this, um, it's either gonna make us turn it into that because we're putting so much focus on it and fearing it, or we're gonna not. And so I feel like that's really the only
Okay.
situation. But I feel like there are too many people like AI can't recreate what I make or what you make or what anybody really makes
Right. Right. I
because
totally agree. No, go
yeah,
ahead.
like they can't account for the, let's say it's studying my style of drawing and wants to draw something in my style, and it does it exactly better than I could do in my style. So taking into account like, well, maybe today, something happened in my life that I felt like drawing it this way, or I saw something and I wanted to like change it. So I feel like until AI becomes like more organic with how it thinks,
Mhm.
then that's when it's actually gonna become like a little bit of a problem.
Well, but that begs to ask is do we allow AI to think more organically because of the discussion that we've had earlier? Like we shouldn't
After
let it get to
watching The
that point.
Creator,
Yeah, like we shouldn't let it get to that point because then it becomes a sentient being, and then
it isn't
it's
sentient though. It's
okay.
that's where it gets you, Dad. It's like, okay, so we're having this discussion after like watching The Creator. It it's my hands are like slowly moving out because I'm about to make some big gestures. It doesn't it is sentient, but only in the way of like it's thinking and it's processing like an advanced computer would. And when you turn it off, it turns off, and it's not organic in this like real in the same way that like you and I are. Maybe
Okay, but
real
what
isn't
if it
like the
doesn't
right
turn
word.
off? What if we're not allowed to turn it off? Because turning it off would mean
Yeah,
nothingness. It would mean death.
it'd mean it's off. It isn't, the computer is lost. It isn't there. It doesn't, I don't think whatever the afterlife is, I don't think an AI robot is going there. Uh and it's just not the same. And I will be on the front lines of the AI war, fighting for my freedom and my God-given right in America. That's all I gotta say. Like
America.
against AI, I really will. Like if
Oh,
there's
I'm
seriously,
with you. Yeah.
yeah, if there's seriously a war like in the creator against AI, I will become a soldier. I will register. I will maybe.
Okay.
It's just
Well, you're let's
I'm just kidding. I
let's
don't.
just, you know, let's not get to that point, okay? But I hear you, I
Yeah.
understand, and we shouldn't let it get to that point. But anyway, so uh Sora AI, I believe that it is a tool like anything else, right along, pretty much like what you're saying. Not just that, putting a whole bunch of energy into being afraid of it, but, using it as it will essentially be, and that is another tool to be able to create, right? And that's what I think, this will end up being. In the beginning, everyone's going to be pitching a fit about it. It's like, oh my goodness, it's the end times. Movies,
Yeah.
as we know it, have changed. Well, people have said that when it was silent movies and then it went to talkies, right?
Mhm.
It changed again when film technology and creating these optical illusions called visual effects changed during the time, right? I have to look up a whole bunch of stuff to see what was the next big thing, but definitely the talkies. And then, we keep going on and on until you get to Final Fantasy, which is like in the 2000, early 2000, 2000,
Like the video
2001.
game?
Well, the video game turned movie. Right. So
Okay.
the actual movie came out in 2000, and it's either 2000 or 2001, where you get like these lifelike images, computer generated images that was actually showing textures of clothes and textures of human skin and stuff like that. So it's a tool, and that's all I really have to say about it. I don't think
Yeah.
we should be afraid of it. I think that, for any independent filmmaker that needs something, to pull off an epic shot, Sure, use Sora to get that shot across, right? We're still going to be using human beings because that's what we do, So, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Okay, cool.
Um,
No, go ahead.
no, yeah, next subject.
Next.
No, I
Okay.
really had all I needed to say about it,
Yeah.
you
All
know.
right. So I'm excited. I have recently been tinkering on my car, which we have named the Millennium Falcon. So now it's time for this next section called Jeff Fixes the Falcon. Anyway, imagine like some big, like
You can
computer
edit a
generated
little
graphic.
falcon coming
Yeah.
across the screen. That'll be cute, yeah. No,
Yeah,
seriously.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, well, no, that's exactly what exactly what I'm thinking. So anyway, the Millennium Falcon is my 2015 Dodge Charger that I have brought back with me, and it needs a lot of work. And I am set to take care of some of the repairs myself that I know I could easily get to. Some of it's going to be a bit of a challenge, but, after watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos, I think I have what it takes to actually fix it. So, this first not iteration, but the first wave of repairs was replacing the thermostat, and then also there's this thing called a crossover bar, coolant crossover bar. It's
Mm,
crazy, right? And so instead of getting plastic parts, I got aluminum parts from a company called Dorman. Shout out to Dorman. Really, I bought it, so it's not they're not sponsoring yet. And I always like to say that, but
yeah.
got it after watching a gajillion hours worth of YouTube videos. I spent a weekend day, got it working right, flushed the coolant because it needed it,
Hmm.
and was able to get that working. And so what's next is the engine cooler. There is a list. Like this thing's got over 100,000 miles, and pretty much everything that is wrong with it is basically wear and tear. So, now I'm set to fix the engine cooler, oil cooler, and also change the spark plugs. Now, what's really cool is that I got these spark plugs from RIP. They also make superchargers. So hopefully at the end of all the necessary repairs, I can put a
Hmm.
turbo in this thing and we can truly go into hyperspace.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much going to be
That's the
like
dream.
that's the dream. That's kind of the series finale is to put a
Okay.
turbo in it, right? So after getting all the necessary stuff done, and there's a few other things that need to be done that I know I'll have to take it to the shop because I just don't have the equipment or the expertise or whatever. But there we go. So what do you think? You're excited about
Uh,
hopefully getting turbo?
yeah, it's nice to hear I'm not being sarcastic. It's cool to hear you talk about it because,
Mhm.
I half of what you're saying, I just don't really know what's like going on, but I'm like, okay, he knows what he's talking about.
All right,
Now it's
so
time to talk
that's
about
it.
Dune.
Doom, Dune,
Yeah,
Dune, not Doom. That's the video game.
Dune.
But
Yeah,
Dune. Yeah. All
Dune.
right.
D
So
D O O N. That's how we're spelling it now.
D Dune,
Dune. Okay.
Dune.
Anyways,
Ooh, what are we
they're like,
doing? Are we trying to do a
I
mashup?
no. Uh,
Dune and Dune?
no.
No,
It's
Dune.
just how you spell it now. Just
Yeah.
because, yeah.
Well,
Uh,
Dune, Dun, Part 2,
yeah, it's
directed by
very
Denis
crazy.
Villeneuve.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I
first thoughts.
So there were like moments in the theater, like there was a guy, in like behind at the start when like they were like killing some of like the, white bald guys that I forget their name.
Yeah, yeah.
Where he was like, "Oh shoot, dang!" Like when they were dropping, and then like there were kind of people talking, and then eventually just kind of drowned out, and it felt like a 4 hour movie. I don't know about you, maybe it's because it didn't like start with a beginning introduced to like the character, but it kind of just picked up where the other movie left off, so everything
Yeah.
felt longer. Um, and like even at the end, there are just moments where I like was like, whoa. Like when Paul did that flip when they were fighting,
Oh
he did a
yeah.
little spin. Like that actually made me like, oh dang, that was kind of
Yo.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Hey, should we do a spoiler? Should we put our
sure.
spoiler
Yeah.
this? Yeah,
Well,
so yeah, we're spoiling it. Get
okay.
ready. We don't care. We're gonna talk about it. So here we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But it's a book.
now that we already
So
spoiled it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, no one really we didn't spoil it. He was fighting. He spun. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
At the end. Um, Really all I gotta say is like the message taking away from it is like I don't really understand not I don't understand, but I'm trying to find the what is the movie saying in the way of like, everyone there are people thinking that Paul Atreides, was a messiah. And at the start he was like, yeah, I'm not, but I guess you guys can think that. Then the weird fetus was telling his mom, you have to start telling the children. And so then she like, I mean,
Okay, so
I'm not gonna say for lack of better words, but I'm just like she basically like groomed, you know, the younger generation of the Fremen into thinking, this guy was a messiah, and eventually he just slowly saw his dreams come true and
mhm,
became the messiah, even though half of kind of like the message was going more towards, you know, I'm you don't need a messiah. But then he fully turned into it. So that's more
but
a kind of
do you think well, I feel he definitely accepted the fact that this is what he had to
yeah.
do, but do you think he himself thinks that he's the Messiah?
I mean that's very nuanced, like especially after he drank like the life water. It was
Hmm.
probably more like, you know, he was probably more like this is how it has to happen. I
Right.
am the Messiah now, and like a lot of it kind of became like spiritual maybe.
Hmm.
And that's more kind of what's interesting to me. Like, is this movie what should we take away that there's a Messiah and the Messiah is real in this movie, or should we take away that all this kind of like manipulation and focus on it made it happen and made even like the character himself like when he walked into that like big room with all the Fremen like
Hmm. Hmm.
where he was like your grandmother got a scar from walking and then tripping on a rock when she was 12 before something and then something and
Right.
yeah, that being and all the like whenever they're like, oh, that's as written. I
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
the movie was crazy.
Well, yeah, and what I appreciated about it is the fact that you've had like two sects of the Fremen, right? You had those that were
You had the
like, hey,
believers
the
and the
believers and the
non-believers. Yeah,
non-believers, right? And
yeah,
even his girl was saying is like, no, I'm a non-believer because what ends up happening is you you get controlled once you believe in something, right?
yeah.
And so, I think that is definitely, what the author, you know, well, from my point of view, from the, well, I have to finish reading the book, but I believe, from the source material, something like that, it's definitely a reflection on our times today, right? When you have, some people who are so roped into religion that if you veer outside of the rules or whatever holy book, whatever, then you're doing something bad, and so you have to remain on this path, and that is a form of control, right?
Yeah.
So, you had what's her name? Zendaya's character,
Zendaya.
Zendaya's
There's
character.
no I in it. Sorry. I was
Oh,
talking to
whatever.
someone
That's the
else
Southern image. That's the Southern image.
who was
Zendaya,
saying it.
yeah,
Okay, it's fine. It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. That's the Southern accent coming out. Zendaya. Anyway, she's from Oakland. She's from the Bay Area, actually.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah, cool.
really?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll confirm it later, but I remember seeing something in the news saying that she's from the Bay Area, and there's,
And then she
video clips
sold
of
her
her.
soul to Hollywood and became a child actor.
Well, dear God, man.
I know. I
Let's
mean, she's cool or whatever, but
Yeah, yeah. Well, I
I
mean,
don't. It's fine.
I do not believe she sold her soul to Hollywood.
I'm gonna be honest. I think all child actors kind of sold their soul.
Well,
No.
you were
No.
auditioned for
Well,
a brief
that was
moment.
just because I didn't. I just.
I don't remember selling,
Yeah.
putting you up for sale. This conversation took a big left turn. Let's get back. She is from the
Anyways,
Bay Area, Oakland.
okay.
Oakland. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, shout out to Zendaya. Awesome performance
Okay, but
in the
yeah,
movie Dune. So yes. So she's of the Charlie Chair. Anyway, she's of the belief that we should be forging our own path, right? And so that's from a not, I guess, local point of view, right?
yeah.
Whereas Timothy Chart, wow, I'm forget his character's name,
Paul.
Paul Atreides. So Paul Atreides is thinking galactically, globally,
Yeah.
universally about the big picture, and that is I need to bring peace to this planet, and in order for me to do that, I have to accept the fact that I'm the one that is supposed to bring everybody together.
Yeah.
So that's the that's pretty much like the tragedy in all this, is that he sees something bigger, whereas she's like, yo, just chill here, stay with me, and blah blah
Yeah, have
blah. And
some
yeah,
spice, just
yeah, have some spice. Well, it's also, it is, that whole thing is pretty much like, these people are taking psychedelics, they're opening their mind, their
yeah.
third eye. So, you know,
That's why it's all very,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So, however you feel about, psychedelics, and that's a conversation, we can have later. But in this aspect, that's, what we would liken it to.
Yeah.
And he was able to see everything to be able to forge a path, a narrow path forward to be able to bring peace. But yeah, but some of the key concept is basically uh, having to take on this role as the Messiah, as well as being able to bring the people that he wants to, consider family now, the Fremen, in order to make sure that, they're okay.
Yeah. And okay, I have one critique about the movie, which is kind of like off what we were just talking about, which is this isn't taking away from like how much I like the movie, but I think the war was a little like cut short. Like you just really got like two grand like battle scenes
Mhm.
because it was kind of like, oh, we're gonna have this big war, and it didn't really fully happen.
Well,
Like I
there's a
think
part three. Like it's all
there's a
culminating
part
to,
three coming.
oh, dude, yeah, yeah.
Really?
Like
Oh,
they're really going to war now. This is the
I
Empire
I
Strikes Back. That's exactly
Is
what this
it?
is. Yeah, it
Mm,
is. This is The Empire
I
Strikes
thought the
Back.
first one was basically The Empire Strikes Back. I don't really think
No.
they need to make another movie, personally.
Well, okay.
But
Number
I
one,
don't know.
I well,
I know there are
you
multiple
gotta.
books and there's a big war coming back. I don't think that unless they have, I think it would be fine to end here. But if they want to make another one and add like another element of like,
Okay.
philosophy in the Messiah, I don't know. Like, I think
Okay.
it's fine to end here. That's all, really.
Well, it's a good ending for this part, but you also have to understand that it's a series of books and there is more story to tell. So
I
I
know.
think so there is. I'm telling you right now,
I know.
there
No,
is
I
more
know.
story
I
to
know.
tell.
I know
Yeah.
there are multiple Dune books, but it's necessary to adapt all of them because at one point is this kind of just gonna become like
Is it
a
necessary to adapt all seven
franchise.
Harry Potter books?
No. Well, I wasn't there at that time, and I would honest it's different, Dad. It's so different. Wait, no, you can't. You're not gonna trick me into thinking. No, I'm joking, kind of, but
Hey,
Harry
I'm
Potter.
just
I know you're making me
yes.
think, but Harry Potter is really episodic, and so it's like you know well, first year, second year, oh, we're leading up to fight Voldemort, but we're going like inch by inch in
Okay, so
each
how is this
book.
not
But
episodic?
so this is not episodic in the same way. Well,
Okay, not
this is
episodic in the
supposed to.
same way,
Mm, no,
but it
it's
is
more.
episodic.
Dad, let me talk.
I'm
I'm
trying to
just trying to
save
think.
you
I
because you're
know.
like,
No,
dude,
no, no.
okay, no,
So,
go ahead.
so in my opinion, there are two different types of movies. Or stories, kind of, which is uh, you know, character-based stuff
Hmm.
and more grand, we're telling a bigger story kind of stuff. This so character-based things are where we have, some characters that we're meant to really fall in love with, and we're just supposed to see them go through adventures in a more episodic way, usually is how that goes. And then uh more grand, storytelling is like where the characters are really just tools to tell a very bigger story. And I think that it okay.
Keep going. No, keep going.
And I just think the grand story because like sometimes, if people want to keep getting more Dune and read the books, they can read the books. But this was all so the two Dune movies that have come out in the last, couple of years
Hmm.
have been part one and part two, and like, based on the same book. You know what I mean? I don't know
Right.
why I can't describe it. Yeah.
Okay,
They're
so
both
you
they're
do
both
understand that the book isn't done. I mean, not the book isn't done yet, but there's a third part because the book is so massive. There's more story to tell in the book. So that's what I'm trying
in the
to let you
books,
know.
but this is both of
No,
these
no,
movies
no.
are based on book one.
Right.
So what
There's
I'm saying is I'm just kind of like
okay.
trying to make sense of it
No, I
and
hear you.
make my opinion because I think it's fine and I don't know if they're gonna make more and I don't really need them to make more unless they know they're gonna do a good job. That's really all.
Okay, I understand. It's like, look, are we good now? Let's stop here before, you know.
I just don't want it to become like Star Wars or Marvel.
Got you, got you, got you. Well, I'm letting you know there is more story to tell because they
I
have to
know.
take, Paul has to now go fight the other houses because now he's the Messiah. And that's more to tell. And so, there's that. I really enjoyed the whole process of it starting right where it left off. I enjoyed, definitely, the reveal that Paul Atreides is actually, they're actually related to the Harkonnens, right? That's,
Yeah.
that's dude's grandfather that he just cold-blooded walked up
Ooh,
to,
that was
said, "Hey,
so cool. He was
granddaddy,
like, "You
stabby,
die like an animal."
die." Yeah,
Like an
yeah.
animal. Like that's how you want to, end someone's life. That sounded so dark.
Yeah, like if
Um,
you want to do something cold-blooded, that is definitely
you
what he
gotta
would do.
say, something that's gonna stick with them for their last 3 seconds, like like something that's like disrespectful. Because if it's someone that has like brought you so much pain, like you know, you're only bringing pain by, I don't know, like if you were to like keep them alive and be like, oh, I don't even want to kill you. I just want to torture you. Like that's kind of bringing more pain. You should just end it by killing
Yeah,
them.
yeah. That and
Like
also,
John Wick, which
mm,
I saw those movies. We saw that
yep,
recently.
yep.
We looked it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, we had to take a moment to figure out where the miscommunication was, and we figured it out. So what do we find out?
Dune Part One and Two are both based off of the same. Or sorry, that's a bad way of saying it. The Dune book is. I know I'm having trouble like explaining this. I like said it perfectly earlier when we
Yeah,
weren't
you did.
recording. Dune Part One and Two are based off of the same book. It's one
R-
book split into two
Right.
movies. Yeah.
Exactly. And then the hopefully the third movie, if it is made, will be based off of Dune Messiah.
Yeah.
So this isn't about right or wrong, but we both have different aspects, which I think I agree with as well, that the ending of Dune Part Two was a perfect ending, and I hope they get into Dune Messiah, the Holy War, which I think would be awesome. So
A holy
that's what I
space
think.
war.
The
That's
Holy
crazy.
Space War,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's better than
It's
Star
sad.
Wars.
Yeah, it's
It's better than
sad
Star
that,
Wars.
well, it's two
Dude, come
different
on,
types.
man.
It's two different types of wars. That's all.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm only defending the original trilogy here. I'm honestly not really trying to defend the sequels or even like the prequel trilogy. It's two different types of wars. An oppressive force. It isn't about religion, but it is an oppressive force that was like dictating, and this one is a space holy war, which is sad that we would still be doing that in space, 80,000 years in the future.
Right. Oh well, some things just stay the same.
Like I don't even fully get their like religion and why they need, well, no, I get it actually.
Well, it's the
It's about
witches,
being in tune with the desert.
right? As being
Oh
in tune,
no,
but
yeah,
then,
it's the
yeah,
witches that,
yeah,
yeah.
they're planning the whole thing, right?
She
They're
got
planning the
so
whole thing.
the mom got so like messed up.
I don't know. She turned into a gangster. Like she was like,
She
"Yo,
No, she like went so bad. That was like kind of scary.
I don't think she's bad. I think okay,
I
manipulative, yes, very much so manipulative,
everyone in this is just like bad manipulative because like
right?" Because a girl, being trained by the Reverend Mother from the Emperor, she, conceived with that psycho's kid, that was killed in the last battle. Oh yeah, I was just like, dear Lord, like you're gonna have his baby?
I don't even wait. Who? Oh yeah, that part. That was so crazy
Yeah,
that she was like, I want to secure the bloodline," is what she
yeah,
said. Oh my
yeah.
God, that was actually
And
kind of
that's what that
crazy.
whole thing is about, you know? So
It's
anyway,
about power
so
and bloodline.
yep,
Jeez.
pretty much. Well, anyway, well, we'll see how this does in the box office.
Oh
I have
yeah,
a
I wasn't
feeling
even
it's
thinking.
yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be pretty good. You know what?
I kind of want to see it
Let's check.
again.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Dune Part 2 box office. So apparently, and this is from the Associated Press, that it's made 81.5 million so far with the debut.
Mhm.
So, and it started on a Friday. Normally, they want these big box office events
Like
like
on a
they would start.
Thursday.
Yeah, they'd either start it on a Wednesday or on a Thursday to kind of like ease into the opening weekend.
Yeah.
Internationally, it earned 97 million, so 178.5 million altogether. So I
Huh.
think we're looking at a part three.
Well, okay, but it shouldn't. This is the problem. Like, if this was a bad movie but did great, like that's would you still be saying part three?
So you're
I,
thinking this is a really good story. I want to see more of it. But if it's a really good story and if it's mathematics, man. It's like if the movie cost X amount of dollars and they only get back X amount of dollars, it's really up to, the accountants on whether this is a viable, business to keep going because
yeah, I just
unfortunately, the show of business is the business of show.
yeah. I just feel
Yeah,
like they can leave it where it is. That's really all. I'm like content. Maybe in another like 3 or 5 years, we'll get Dune Messiah,
right.
and maybe
Well,
I'll
that's
have
how
read the
long it took.
book.
Yeah, well,
I
it,
know, yeah.
yeah,
Which is
yeah.
weird. Like felt like because I didn't fully like care about Dune that much when we first saw it, even though I still thought it was like pretty good. But it went from like like it was kind of like a small movie. In the way of like we were getting introduced to the characters and
Hmm.
the story, and it kind of just like went very big. Do you know what I mean? Kind of.
I understand that because it's not on the level of Star Wars or Star Trek, that it was kind of small in nature, but the movie was big in scope and it being an epic. It's a different kind of sci-fi.
The first movie and the second movie is what I'm saying are different. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well,
In
right,
the
you got the
terms of what you're
setup.
just saying. Yeah, the first movie is kind of like setting it up. But when we when we rewatched it for like Dune Part Two, I like it still felt a little small. Like there wasn't too much talking about Messiah. They really fully like just got into like the Fremen group
Yeah,
at the like last 30 minutes of the movie.
right. Well, that's like
And
really the cool thing about having being able to take your time telling these stories is that you're actually able to gradually get into the bigger tale of Paul
yeah.
Atreides, this this kid that really loves his dad, and he's like, yeah, let's go to
Have you
let's go to
seen like
Spice
the
World,
the bad lip reading? Have you seen bad lip reading? Yeah, we
No,
saw that with like Dune. I know.
part one,
Yeah, it's
awesome.
it's very funny.
Okay. Oh, we did watch it. I do remember watching it. Yeah,
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 or
yeah,
it
yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that was very funny.
Cool. Well, anyway, so yeah, we'll leave a link for the bad lip reading of Dune.
Yeah,
But I think that pretty much wraps it up, huh?
yeah,
Yeah, I can't wait. Hopefully they'll do a third one. If not, I'm happy with how it
yeah,
ended.
exactly.
Zendaya, riding on her sand desert worm, pissed, you know,
Hmm.
like I like yeah. And my first thought was, this girl is not no side chick. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
I was like, nah, you made your
no,
choice, bro.
yeah. Well, it's also on like her kind of because he's like, I love you, but sorry, I'm
I
the
got to do
Messiah.
this.
I'm
Yeah.
meant for something bigger.
But at the same time, I got where he was coming from. He's like, look, I have to do this, but you just need to know I'm always going to love you, you know?
Yeah,
So that was very noble of him. But yeah,
at the least, that's the least you could have said.
the least. But yeah, but the one thing I was thinking of was that nah, Zendaya is not no side chick. But then I'm thinking about it more and I'm like, no, 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 no. The other girl is the side
Well,
chick.
yeah,
Yeah. Because he's just having to do this to keep to keep the galaxy from falling apart, you know?
yeah, that was what was like kind of interesting. Like in like all the like press stuff, you know, Florence Pugh and like Austin Butler were in it, but like Austin Butler was supposed to be like the big bad, and he was kind of terrifying.
Oh yeah.
But neither of them are in it like as much as like the main like Fremen characters. But I don't know, it's
Well,
okay. Everyone did a good job though.
yeah.
Either, yeah,
Yeah. No, but Austin Butler was psychotic. I loved it. I loved
did
it.
he just
Yeah.
like all of a sudden came out of nowhere playing like Elvis and his like crazy method acting. Or like, did
Yeah,
you hear about it? He like couldn't get out of like having an Elvis voice.
yeah. I mean, when you're playing someone in real life and who has made an impact in music the way Elvis has done. I've got other opinions about him, but everybody loves Elvis and his music and his impact. And I, when you play a character like that, you want to make sure you get it right.
Yeah, and I think because I know what things you're talking about, and I think they did kind of like touch on that in the movie.
Yeah, I'll watch the movie eventually, but
Yeah.
it's
I don't really like dramatic movies like that. I like my Messiah Dune sci-fi, that's for some reason that's an easier pill for me to swallow than,
you're still young.
yeah.
You'll get to
Okay.
it. Cool. Well, that will wrap it up for Dad
Hmm.
Shoes. Another epic tale of greatness, Dune Part 2. Come back when we talk about other things like, hey, what's the progress on my car, the Millennium Falcon? Will AI finally take over my son and then he will rule with an iron
My
fist?
my
Hopefully,
my I can't hear
my
you. It like died.
oh, I was just saying, hopefully,
Okay. I'm
yeah,
back. Sorry. Yeah.
yeah,
I like adjusted my microphone and then or like tried to plug it in more and then you cut out and I was like, okay, well,
yeah. I was on a
you know,
roll, man.
okay, I'm sorry. I
It's
didn't
okay. It's
hear.
okay. It's okay. Yeah, no, I
No,
was just
I
saying,
was
hopefully AI will not take you over and then you
okay.
will rule the world with an iron fist. Hopefully not me. I'm your dad, you know.
Yeah.
I'll be uh I'll be your
There's some
second in command.
there's a small price to pay for freedom.
True. Question mark. Anyway, come back next time, guys. Remember to like
Okay.
and subscribe, get the merch, all that other good stuff.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Peace.